What's up, friends? Hate to cut the song short, but let's just get going. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. That's one of the gnarliest spots in all of Georgia. And, I gotta go back there. Paul McDonald, Denzel the Terrible, Chopper FPV, Mr. Huggy, Brandon's Baked Beans, Jay Jones, Quadbot, Northern Tier, Alpha Sloth, 413, Dusty Joe Beep, Toot, Alec Dvornik, Ed K, Denzel the Terrible again, Ed K, and Isaac Mitchell. What's up, friends? Welcome to Finish Shit Friday Q&A. So ask any questions you've got in the chat. Make sure you tag me, type at CiottiFPV. And we're gonna do some work on this Vistapick here. The never-ending toothpick build. It's time to get this done. I've gotten a bunch of, oh God, I almost just threw up all over the live stream. I've gotten a bunch of stuff done lately. Look at this! Look at this! I finished up the last of the Runcam hybrid Rip Squeaks. Rip Squeak V1s. It's good to go. This is the one that's on 1306s. I think it needed a new ESC, and I swapped out the ESC, and then I just didn't put it the rest of the way together. This was on Ghost, but I took that out of it. I can't... Like, back before Express LRS, I was going to play around with Ghost. But now it's like I've got the Crossfire module, I've got the ELRS module. I don't also want to have the Ghost module. Like, that's a bit much. So if anybody wants to buy a Ghost module and receiver and 3, I think, receivers, let me know. This Vistapick has Ghost in it right now, and I think tonight we're going to remove that. I think I'm going to pull the Ghost receiver off of it. On one hand, like, I think Ghost might be good for, like, clickbait, right? Because, like, it's rare. But I just don't want to have a third... I just don't want to have a third module floating around. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. If you want to talk directly to me, all I got to do is type CiottiFPV like these beautiful people down here. When you type CiottiFPV, it'll light up in orange. You got to spell it right. If you're watching this stream on repeat, not live, you can be a part of the next live stream, basically. Every single live stream, I go back to the previous live stream and I read the comments. And we're going to do that right now by clicking on videos and whoop, Wednesday Q&A Tiny Lifter Tuning 101. Pause this. We got a bunch here. Apache Smoke Wounded Cyber says, "What's up, Ciotti? How you doing? Great stream. I learned a lot. Stay safe." Quadbod says, "Hey there. On Wednesday, you had a new guy to FPV, Bob Bruce, who was having trouble with FrSky SPI range on a tiny whoop. I don't know how to message him directly, so I'll put my suggestions here. 1, check both antennas, radio and quad orientation relative to each other. Plus, especially if it's soldered directly to the AIO. I think we talked about that on the stream. 2, radios with internal modules need to be fine-tuned for FrSky SPI receivers. That's new to me. Curry Kitten did a good video about it, and there's a link. Easy to do and does make a difference. I can get 80+ yards on my Tiny Hawk 2 freestyle on an open field. I mean, 80+ yards... well, I guess SPI, yeah. I guess I've never done range testing with SPI, but even 80 yards seems a little bit short to me. I don't really remember having too many issues with FrSky SPI, but it was always just on tiny whoops. So yeah, I'm not... I would think you'd be able to get hundreds of yards, though, from FrSky, like across a field. But yeah, it's been a while. Very cool, Quadbod. Great suggestions. Fat Pastor says, you asked after I had to go on Wednesday night, how many HD0 whoops do I have? I have 5. 2 Modula 7 HD0 and 3 Modula 6s. One of those is home built with the Beta FPV ELRS board with plug-in motors off the Tiny Whoop store, 27,000 kV. About to try 0802 30,000 kV Tiny Whoop motors. The other 2 Modula 6 HD0s are stock with one of those Meteor 65 Pro frames. Yeah, I've got it bad. Nice. K Karma says, "Hey bro, any ideas on how to get my ESC working? I think I might have bricked it. we talked about that, I think, on the stream, and yeah, I'd previously gone through that. If you want to check out that troubleshoot that I did for K Karma, just go back to Whoop Wednesday and look in the comments. And then Robert Rosser with the last comment says, dang, I missed the live stream. Situation. What's up, friends? This is my full-time job. If you have a couple extra dollars, I would love it if you join my Patreon. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if FPV is dying or what, but my Patreon is certainly dying. So if you got a couple extra dollars a month, I would love for you to jump onto my Patreon. I had a new sub last week, and I always like to give you guys shout outs. Jonathan Schutz, thank you so much for joining the Patreon page. It makes a huge difference. He is on a giveaway tier, so this coming next Monday, he'll be in on the giveaways. All right, let's get this out of here and move this over to here. And Ed K tagged me and said happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well, Ed. Denzel the Terrible says, I'm just reviewing some GoPro footage while I wait. CiottiFPV theme song kicked in and made me think it was I was opening the show. Nice. Right 9 says, I call you the Gangle Master with 3 H's. Nice. Kevin Sumner says, any hurricane weather in your area? None whatsoever. We're not even going to get rain. It went completely around Georgia. Kind of wild. Well, I guess the southern tip of Georgia might have gotten some, but yeah, Atlanta didn't get anything at all, and we won't be getting anything at all. Right 9 says, Flash Express LRS onto Ghost. Quality hardware, great firmware. Unless there's yeah, Kevin Sumner's kind of calling it out. He says, I did that to my Ghost stuff. It's okay, no Wi-Fi. Yeah, there are problems with doing it. And it's also not reversible. You know, Ghost is a great protocol. So I feel weird like doing a non-reversible thing where you don't get the same feature set. You know, I've got an ELRS module that goes all the way up to 1 watt, although apparently the beta FPV doesn't really go to 1 watt, but I don't care because I only use it for tiny whoops. So Northern Tier says, I got my sticker pack. Thanks, man. Oh my God, thank you for reminding me. There are new sticker packs. I got a whole bunch of them here. And look, I even put the goddamn stamps on the envelopes. The new sticker pack, $10. Send it over to me from CiottiFPV.com. Scroll down, there's a PayPal button. You're going to get a Micro King window cling. This will stick on the inside or the outside of your windows. You're going to get the New School logo here and a sticker, and then you're going to get the New School logo in a magnet. $10, and I'll ship it straight out to you, and you'll be way cooler than your friends that don't have CiottiFPV stickers. Isn't that worth 10 of your dollars? And yeah, it'll allow me to keep on making content for you beautiful people to watch. So show your support. Take a picture when you get it. Put it on your Instagram. Tag me. I'll tag you back. You'll get a bunch of new people. You'll meet some new friends. Alec Dvornik super chatted $4.20. The weed number. Thank you, Alec Dvornik. You're the man. Glad to have you back, brother. We all missed you. No, we got that. Mr. Huggy says, be the only true believer and have everything on Ghost. I mean, Ghost is pretty much like as good as Express LRS. It doesn't have quite as many bells and whistles, but like from a performance standpoint, like Ghost is almost identical to Express LRS. Certainly way better than Tracer. So I mean, anybody running Tracer, Ghost would definitely be an upgrade for them. But yeah, it's also, I don't know how long Ghost is going to be around, right? Like, I have a funny feeling that Express LRS is going to kill both Tracer and Ghost. Certainly Tracer, because it's just, ELRS is just way better. And maybe Ghost too. You know, Ghost is much closer competitor, but Immersion RC is not like putting tons of time into Ghost. They seem to be spending their time working with Orca to get us a 5th digital HD system, regular old school DJI HD0 V2 DJI Waka Flocka Flame. So yeah, it would be a 5th. at some point here, Orca is going to release a 5th digital HD option for us. Kind of crazy. And then there's a bunch of us that are still on analog. And by choice, too. Alec Dvornik's comment on his 420 super chat is, good to see you on. Here's a little for the fun. Thank you, Alec. Thank you again, my man. 30 goes to 34. And we're off to the goddamn races. Where was I in chat here? Where are we at? Where are we? Mr. Huggy says, talking of ELRS, FrSky has a new radio out. I did not know that. Let's copy the link address, open it up, and take a quick look. Come on. Hey, Twin XLite. Is that a picture of it? Look at that weirdo thing. Look, the screen slides up and down. That's kind of interesting. Look at that. The screen slides up to reveal a Nintendo controller. Good job, FrSky. Interesting. Big old screen on there. There fucking better be a VTX receiver in there. I swear to God, if these manufacturers that are putting full color screens on their transmitters don't start putting a tiny little receiver in it, I'm gonna have a cow. Gyroscope sensor. Interesting. Motion sensing controller. Huh. That could be cool for like controlling an onboard camera, right? Like the if you had a camera with pitch on it, that'd be pretty slick to I mean, it makes more sense to do that with head tracking, but interesting. So I'm guessing Express LRS is built in. Same receiver. TW mode, TW active protocols different. Or they just have their own. Let's search for ELRS. Yeah, there it is. In addition to TW mode, Twin XLite also supports ACCSD D16 access and ELRS 2.4. Very cool. Very, very cool. It's going to be expensive, though. This is going to be an expensive radio. It's got a big screen. It's all fancy looking. Looks like it's got Hall effect gimbals. That's pretty slick looking, though. Is it for sale anywhere? Let's see. I wonder if there's a price. It's on Amazon. No, it's not. This is just a loft. Huh. Very cool. Cool looking radio. Kevin Sumner dropping the Patreon link. Thank you, brother. Isaac Mitchell says, working on my 75mm Fat Boy, started as a Mobula 7 1S, added Crossfire, Cadix, True RC antenna, and moved it up to 1002 22,000s and the Gemfan quad blades. I'm getting close on the tune. Thinking about going Fractal 75 so I can lower the filters. Any thoughts? It depends, in my opinion, if you're going to crash or not. Well, although those 1002s probably have 1.5mm motor shafts, so you're probably fine. Yeah, the Fractal should almost certainly let you drop the filters down, push the PIDs farther. So yeah, as long as those motors have 1.5mm motor shafts rather than 1mm, yeah, you'll be totally fine. They'll be plenty strong. Yeah. The Gemfan quad blades, though, try the Gemfan tri blades. Those quad blades, I think, are too heavy for even the 1102s on the tiny lifters, especially after the flying we did Wednesday and the tuning that we did Wednesday, and we got to see how much more locked in the tune was on the bi-blades, and there didn't seem to be much of a decrease in thrust on the bi-blades either. So, yeah, I think the Gemfan quad blades might be a little bit too heavy and draggy for 1002, 1102 motors. I need to spend some more time with it to kind of confirm that, but it's certainly starting to look like that. Quadbot says I had to turn around at 80-ish yards because the 25 milliwatt video signal started getting dodgy. Okay, gotcha, Quadbot. All right, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I flew FrSky like years into Crossfire being available, and everybody else switching to Crossfire just because I was broke. And and I was able to go real fucking far with FrSky. I mean, I had FrSky at the beach, and I went easily a mile, and it was completely fine. Started to feel a little bit laggy, but yeah, it was completely fine. Stephen Roy says, question about Happymodel OVX 300 VTX. I don't know what that is. Happymodel OVX. Let's see. One of those triangle ones. It's coming up. Happymodel has it listed at 300 milliwatts max. However, Happymodel manual VTX table has it listed with 400 milliwatts max. Wonder which is correct. FYI, it is open source. So whatever they rate it at in the spec sheet, that's what it is. The number that shows up in the VTX table, you could put 10,000 in there. You could just type 10000, and in the the table it would look like it has 10,000 milliwatts. Yeah, none of that stuff matters. The VTX table, that's just a label in the VTX table. So yeah, you can set that number at whatever you want. Where the hell are the specs? Here we go. Well, though this says 400 milliwatts, transmitting power 0 RCE 2500 400. So yeah, it looks like it has 400. All that being said, the difference between 300 and 400 is practically nothing. What you want to remember with milliwatts is you have to cube it or you have to double it. You have to either double it or cube it to get twice the range. So if you're on 100 milliwatts and you want double the range, you can't just jump up to 200 milliwatts. I forget how it works, but it's a really big jump. So like from 25 milliwatts to 100, that's going to get you a bunch more range. From 100 to 1,000, that's going to get you a bunch more range. But like 100 to 400, or like it's not nearly as much of a jump. This is why I really like it's why the Immersion RC 500 milliwatt Tramp has been like my go-to VTX forever, because it's just really durable and their quality control is amazing. 500 milliwatts is not a lot. You know, there's like 800 milliwatts and 1 gigawatt, but they don't get you much extra range. So yeah, to me, VTXs are more about like durability and what the video actually looks like in your goggles than just having a ton of power. So keep that in mind. The long and short of it, though, is the difference between 300 milliwatts and 400 milliwatts is practically nothing. So whatever it is, it's going to be, 300, 400, that's going to be totally fine for any kind of like a tiny whoop or micro or anything like that. Probably, and to be honest, bigger stuff too. I mean, you know, I've flown freestyle with 500 milliwatts, which is not much more than 400 or 300. For years and years and years, and yeah, I can go all kinds of wild places. So yeah, keep that in mind. But for the record, in the VTX table, the number that you see there, it doesn't actually like tell basically the VTX will have like setting 1, setting 2, setting 3, setting 4. Setting 1 pre-baked into it will be the minimum. Setting 2 will be pre-baked into it 1 step up, and there's no way you can change that. So the positions that are there in the VTX table, you're just putting a number in there. It's all about which position you put that in within your OSD or in the VTX tab of Betaflight. Or if you push the little button on it. Good question, brother. Stevie says, happy weekend beginning. By the way, Diamond F4 died. There's another one. VTX first today, maybe 30 batteries, no abuse or hard crashes. Sample of 1, but looking for a replacement. So there's another dead Diamond ELRS Happymodel AIO. I have a battery charge. We're going to do a quick quick flight up in this motherfucker because I got to show you guys the finished, sort of finished, painted wall. I've kind of fallen in love with the full size Mobula 6 Express LRS board. So that's going to be my suggestion for a replacement. Yeah, just the regular. I don't know what this specific AIO is called, but it's the one that's in the Mobula 6 ELRS. Let's actually do that. I accidentally left the VRX plugged in since Wednesday, so it's up there all hot. Let's use it. Patrick came over on Wednesday and helped me finish up the long wall down here, and I just can't help but want to show it to you guys. So let's do that real quick, and we'll rip around the house because you guys always ask me to fly, which is very cool of you. Ouch. This is a brand new Tiny Whoop battery in the, oh, well, no, this is the one with the shitty antenna. Fat Pastor's Mobeetle died on him yesterday. Yeah, stay away from those Diamond ELRS AIOs, guys. This is becoming like every live stream another person has a dead one, and that's just stupid. Like, there's just no reason for that. Like, Happymodel stuff is already kind of fragile. Don't get the one that's even more fragile. Hey, look at that. I'm gonna move this little VRX to see if I can get any better signal when I go upstairs. Bear with me here, friends. Let's put this somewhere. Let me hang this down in front of one of my studio lights there. Let's see if that gets any better reception. Hingus, what the hell? It looks like ass even sitting on the floor. Is it on the wrong channel or something? What the hell's going on? 5917, no, that's right. Man, weird. It's the right channel, isn't it? 5917? Right? Low battery. 5917, yeah, that's the one. It's crystal clear in the, see if I can fly from the stream. Look at that, yo! Look, it's gray! I'll put my goggles down. Oh boy, I'm gonna hit something. Yeah, we stopped here because the rest of this wall needs to get painted anyway. Like, all over here needs to get painted anyway. So yeah, there's that. I would love it if that core temperature warning would go away. I mean, I'm giving it airflow. This Mobula 6 AIO board has always been a little weird. Oh, farts. Oh, where am I? Here we go. Oh, God. That was a hard hit. Uh-oh. Down the stairs we go. I'm assuming that the video was absolutely awful when I was upstairs, so we'll run the rest of this battery out down here. I think this elliptical's gonna go. I don't know. Maggie hates it. And, like, I keep telling her to keep it so that, like, we can, I don't know. I keep thinking, like, I might use it, but I'm not gonna use it, let's be honest. I gotta get this mirror hung up. It's gonna get hung up right here. But, man, this mirror is heavy. This thing must be, like, 70, 80 pounds. And it's very old, and, like, I'm afraid it's gonna, like, explode. I don't know. But I'll figure it out. Like, I kind of want to... There's already one hole in the brick here. I think that's it right there. Let's see. I know, here it is. So there's already one hole here, right? So I kind of want to put like a really strong picture string or whatever the fuck they're called, cable, across this. Right now this thing is set up, it's got little hooks like on each side. What the fuck is the deal with the core warning? It's got like a little hook off on the right here, and then another one off on the left. And what I usually do is just put 2 screws in to hold it, or 2 nails or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. That was cool. I can't handle the goddamn quacking! Yeah. Yeah, this core temperature warning can go to absolute hell. There's something wrong with this board. I think this board is just, like, on its way out. The VTX doesn't seem to work all that well. I mean, I do have a shitty antenna on it, but this has the exact same setup as the other one. I mean, like, top to bottom, same exact setup. And yet, this one gives these core warnings, and the video looks like ass, and I just over-discharged the tiny whoop battery. That's annoying. So there you guys go. Steve Royce with a $1.99 super chat. He says, thanks for answering Happymodel VTX question. You're certainly welcome, Steve. Thanks for the good question and the support with the super chat, my man. Very cool of you. So there you guys go. Let me unplug the VRX this time. Man, I left a little dent in this battery from smacking it into the banister there. That was a hard hit. 3.18. Oof. No. Get on this charger. Get some energy back into you, little guy. Yeah, there's something going on with this particular rig here. I do need to get this super lightweight garbage ass antenna. I'm actually going to do that right now. This antenna is just completely worth. Oh, you know what? Let's put the that's what I got the little small antenna for this thing. Let's swap it. Let's swap it real quick. That's a good use of our time. But first, let me remember to unplug the VRX. There we go! I remembered! Huzzah! How was it when I was upstairs? Horrible? Tell me, chat. Tell me how it was. Be honest. You can be honest. You can tell me it was awful. You won't hurt my feelings. Was it awful? It was awful, wasn't it? I forgot to mention, my favorite thing about this Rip Squeak build here with the 1306s is that I can use the Emax Avan 3-inch props on it because these 1306s are so small. Let me show you what I mean. The 1306 is so narrow that these propellers, see how the inner like tang or whatever the hell it's called of this propeller, it drops down below. Here, I can show you the red ones. You'll be able to see them better. The bottom of this propeller drops down below the mounting point, and you see how like it almost hits this motor bell. But yeah, these 1306s, and there's maybe like some of the 1404s can use this propeller, but most motors can't use this propeller because of how aggressive that prop drops down there below the mounting pad. So yeah, I dig these motors. These are the no longer made RCX 1306 4000s. Really sucks they don't make these motors anymore. These were a great motor. These are the best that we had back then. Although, I mean, we do have better options, I think, than these now. But yeah, this guy is back together. I was looking forward to flying it today. Unfortunately, Sage got into a car accident today, so that gobbled up the majority of the day. But he's okay. Car's a little worse for the wear, but it happens. You know, young drivers sometimes just kind of end up learning the hard way. It's a rough lesson, but hopefully those are the lessons that they'll never forget. And yeah, he'll be a better. He will almost certainly be a better driver for it Just sort of one of those things. Let's get this little small antenna on here. Unfortunately, we didn't have collision either, so we got to kind of pay for it. But that's life sometimes. All right, here we go. And all right, let's get this janky ass antenna out of here, and we will replace it with a fancy little small antenna. Look at that little guy. My God, it's little. The smallest little... You know, it might weigh less than the antenna that was on the damn thing. Let's see. Let's see what it'd be weighing. Isaac Mitchell says, ordered all 1.5 millimeter shafts, props. The new Gemfan quad blades draw less current than everything except the biblades. Really? Less current than the tri-blades? That's wild. So the little tiny small antenna is... Hold on, let me do this. Let me give it some weight. I don't like weighing stuff on just the scale pad. I like to weight it down a little bit and then weigh it. Although it's coming up the same, 0.2. 0.2, now it's sitting at 0.3, so let's call it 0.25 for the little small. And then for the ultra lightweight antenna that was on it, it's doing the same thing. So it looks like it weighs exactly the same as the antenna that was on it, which is pretty wild. Here's the antenna that was on it. I don't know where I got this from, but this is not tuned all that well. If you're going to run a whip antenna, it should be one of the whip antennas with the big booger in the middle here. This one is, yeah, garbage. So let's get the little small in here. It's kind of silly that we're going to use the fanciest antenna on the AIO that seems to be shitting the bed, but you know, it's not hard to move these around. I can, if this AIO does all the way shit the bed, I'll take this antenna off and put it on the other rig. But for right now, also I want to see if this clears the canopy. It should, although it might actually be a little bit too short now that I'm kind of looking at it. But let's see. We'll know for sure in a second. Just trying to get it to snap onto the UFL. There it goes. And so we're going to need to just... Man, you got to be really careful with these. You're dealing with just the tiny little PCB. So you got to rotate it back like that. And now let's see if it clears. Oh, it doesn't. It is too short. Hold on. I had a feeling it was going to be a little too short. Well... Oh man, it is like... It's close. Oh boy, I think it's like a millimeter too short. So it sits right up against the back of the camera. I'm going to run it, and we'll see if it breaks. If it breaks, then we'll know it's a little bit too short. It might be a little too short, if I'm honest. It's going to be really close, but let's give it a shot. Maybe it's absolutely perfect. I'll let you know after we start crashing this thing if we see it explode. I mean, if we see the video quality go to hell, I should say. Yeah, Jesus, it's close. It's really close to being absolutely perfect. And I can give it, you know what? If I do this, if I just rotate it a little bit more, I think it'll be fine. I think that's what I needed to do, was rotate it just this tiny little bit extra so it's facing straight back. Yeah, it's better. That's better. It should be fine like that. I gotta be honest, I do wish it was 1 millimeter longer. I wish it was 1 single millimeter longer because there's plenty of space back there. It's really hard for me to show you guys. But yeah, there's a whole, well, here, let me try this. There's a bunch of, what I want to try to show you guys is how much space there is in there for it. There's really no reason for it to be quite this short. The Logitech is, of course, not going to want to focus. How can I show you guys that? No, that's just blown out. Yeah, it's really hard. I don't know how to show it to you guys. The camera's not cooperating, and wait, ooh, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Okay. So it's in there, right? It's in there, but there's a bunch of wasted space behind it. You can kind of see here. You can kind of see down here. See all this space down here? It's just not you. There you go. Now you can kind of see it. That's it there. The little rectangle. So yeah, it might be totally fine like this. I have a hunch that it is. But the if it was 1 millimeter longer, it would fit this exact setup a tiny little bit better. I wonder though if they made it this exact length, because this is what'll fit a bunch of other different combos, and this does seem to fit this combo fine. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it holds up to unbelievable smashing and thrashing and bashing. Shit, I wish I had another battery. Well, that battery's on the charger, so I'll let that battery charge up, and then we'll fly this around again to see if the video signal's any better. It'll almost certainly be better, but I wonder if it'll be as good as the other rig. So yeah, this is the ultra lightweight rig. Let's actually weigh it real quick. It'll be the same weight that it was, but I don't remember what it weighed before. So let's really quickly take a look. 19.5, 19 and a half grams. Man, is that light. 19 and a half without a battery. So this guy can go away. Cool. What's this battery at now? Can we put it right back up in the air? Is there like just enough jam in this battery? Let's see. 3.78. Well, no. That's where I want to leave that battery. I probably have a little... This battery's at 3.9. This will be enough to fly it upstairs really quick. Yeah, 3.9. Here, let me fly it upstairs really quick, and we can... I just want you guys to get to see like a before and after. Shitty antenna versus good antenna. And I'm also curious if that antenna was just so bad that that was the problem. So really quick, you guys are gonna have to let me know though. I can't fly from the VRX feed. So let me know how it is. Friendos. Flat towards me. And then I'm gonna get caught up on the chat. Let's see. It looks better already.
Timer 1.
I don't know why it's stuck on crash flip switch. All right, let's see. The rolling is the big problem. As long as it stops rolling, I'm kind of happy. Like even I'm getting a little no. See, there is something going on with this board. Oh man, this battery just took a huge dump. Oh no. Easy. Just trying to limp it. Hey. Did it roll when I was up there? Now this battery's over discharged. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with that board. It's when I'm flying the other one upstairs, there's like no garbage at all. This is what you get, you know. Happymodel stuff is just absurdly cheap. I really wish that Happymodel would have like a fancy line, and like I don't care, man. Charge twice as much money for it. I don't give a shit. Just make it better quality. Like just give us another option, because nobody else is making the stuff that Happymodel's making. Like, so come on, guys. Like, crank up that quality control. Make something that's a little bit better, or just cherry pick the good stuff. And I don't care. Charge twice as much for it. It's whatever. It's fine. Happymodel has, like, tricked us into loving their stuff because they're willing to make lightweight stuff with, like, everything built in, right? Now charge me extra and make a good quality version of that, you know what I'm saying? Started to roll once you got to the top of the stairs. Yeah, see, there's something wrong with that, VTX in there. I guess maybe, or the ROTG1 is jacked up. I have left it plugged in a bunch of times for like a bunch of days, so maybe the VRX is jacked up. All right, let me get caught up on chat here. And Fat Pastor says, light crash, now no OSD, a poor video range. Did we lose the OSD? No, I had the OSD turned off. Isaac Mitchell says, not the T-mount, but the ones for the Firefly are worth looking at if you haven't already tried them. What are we talking about here, Isaac? I don't know what we're talking about here, Isaac. Help a brother out. June Loco says, horrible signal. Yeah. Was it any better with the small antenna? It had to have been. Kevin Sumner says, yeah, video rolling. Michael D says, just got home from dog park. What's up? Michael D also says PayPal. Let me open up my email real quick. See what's happening over there. Hey, Timbo Slice, new patron. Welcome, my man. Thank you very much, Timbo. You're going to love it. There's all kinds of good stuff going on. Full access to the Discord channel. Bunch of tech articles at the top of the Patreon page. You can click Tech Talk, and that's going to give you a whole shitload of really good tech articles that I've written. What else? Lots of good stuff. 2 Facebook groups, access to a playlist on YouTube with a ton of like sketchy flying and Patreon only videos and streams and whatnot. You're gonna love it. Michael D with a $25 PayPal. Thank you very much, brother. What was going on at the dog park? Did you fly the dog park or were you just walking the dog? Damn, Michael. Thank you very much, brother. Hey, something I did a little while ago that I wanted to kind of revisit. I did like Hide Your Wallet Wednesday. Really quickly, here's a Getfpv email that came through. This is interesting. Have any of you guys run these? I hate where they have these pads for the record, but have any of you guys run the Rush electronics, the flight controller, the ESCs? Any feedback on them? I would not get this because this is just stupid to have the pads this far inboard. That's just dumb. It makes much more sense to have the pads on the edge, and then when you strip the wire, you've got the silicone, and then you've got the exposed bit of wire. You lay that down on the edge of the PCB so that the silicone overlaps down, and that way the wire can sit perfectly flat on the pad. With something like this, you've got to run the wire up and at an angle on the pad, and it's not going to be nearly as strong. So this is, I don't know why they're doing that. And it's also just wasted room. Like, they're just wasting PCB room. If you don't waste that room, you can do stuff like putting bigger FETs on. The bigger FETs tend to be a lot more durable. Armatan has their own little 1.6. It's Armatan, so don't buy it, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, all these little guys I think are solid base plates. So, you know, the fact that Armatan refuses to admit that the directionality of carbon fiber makes a huge difference doesn't matter. So technically speaking, this is just as good as like the Babito. But I don't know. I have a hard time supporting Armatan when they're such assholes, to be quite honest. So I'd rather support Bubby. So yeah, get the Babito, don't get this little thing. This crazy cybermech thing is hysterical. Avata, more and more Avata is coming out. My God, people with like no flight experience are doing some wild shit with the Avata. It's, I don't know, got me super worried, if I'm honest, that the days of needing to know how to fly good are kind of gone, you know, between all the electronic stabilization software and or onboard and now this. It's kind of like, well, why did I spend all those thousands of hours learning how to fly? You just don't need to anymore. You can wobble around the fucking sky and technology will take care of it for you. But, you know, kind of is what it is. 3D printers? What? Look at them selling 3D printers. Okay. Okay. New Cinelog 35. It's got different colored ducts. That's interesting. With Avatar. Okay. Nebula. And there's the analog one. I wonder what they changed. I don't really care enough to click through. BDI digital adapter. I've heard terrible things about this. I've also heard that it's totally fine. I don't know. Fat sharks are. This is not my deal. I'm not gonna like these goggles are silly enough looking and big enough as it is. I would rather just keep my fat sharks and drag those around with me rather than having this constantly dragging this huge setup around on the front with 18 more antennas. But that's just me. A little power bank, okay. 225 watts. The crazy Cybermech thing again. Looks like they've got the Dominator HDs. That's interesting. Joshua Bardwell build. Look at that on the QAVS frame. That's pretty awesome. Bunch of chargers. That's interesting. EV Peak. I haven't heard of them. Anybody know about EV Peak? Do they make a good charger? Hoda seems to be Joshua's favorite choice. So that's if I had to buy a charger, it'd be a Hoda. And then a whole bunch of Lumineer stuff. Here's the QAV Pro, 2.5 inch. That's what I've been playing with lately. Brandon's Baked Beans, by the way, over on my Discord channel, and he's got his own FPV exchange page. Charges $1 a minute to help you out with tuning. That's an incredible deal. Hit him up on my Discord and get your shit tuned. He's helped me with my QAV Pro. Well, I have the QAV Cine Freibot edition, but it's the same thing basically. He's helped me out with the tune. I can't wait to get it back up in the air because it's being a little bit weird. But it's in a good place. I was hoping to get it up in the air today, but didn't have a chance. Lumineer Axie 2 antenna. I don't know. They got a couple more colors. That's good. I don't know. I think it looks absurd. I have the. If you're gonna do that, in my opinion, get the carbon fiber one from. It's not real carbon fiber. It's hydro dipped, but iFlight makes this, and it just look like you can't tell me that this doesn't look 10,000 times cooler than this nonsense with this just looks unfinished, right? Like that's how Joshua described it, and that's exactly how I feel too. Like it just looks like they just bailed, and they were just like, here, the patch antennas. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe you could argue that the patch antennas look cool. I don't think they do. I'd rather have the carbon fiber one. Runcam Thumb Pro 4K, very cool little camera. Very similar to the Runcam hybrid sort of image quality, which is really good. A bunch of iFlight stuff. Anything that's kind of insane? Nah, more standard stuff. Owline backpack, look at that. That's interesting. I haven't seen any reviews of this. Apparently it's ultra durable. Ooh, bunch of FPV monitors, okay. Oh, the power play is back. Look at that. Immersion RC power play. This is a great little thing. Great little device. And then a bunch of other little analog monitors. This is another one of those little spike absorber kind of plates. It gives you a spot to put the capacitor to, kind of like what FPV Cycle did, so that's pretty cool. And that's it. What was that noise? Life 360, what do you want? I need to turn notifications off for this. What is that? What do you want from me? What? What do you want from me, phone? Leave me alone. And that's that. Now you guys are caught up on some of the things that are for sale. I just looked at the goat for some reason. I just looked right at him. I was like, I see you, goat. Remember.
諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだそこで。もう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメやめ諦めたら。周りのことを思うよ。応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところ、しじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成 ってできる。だからこそネバーギブアップ。
We don't get enough. Man, I'm gonna need that in a little bit when I start working on this toothpick. Jesus. Riot9 says, really taken on board how you can tell how old / new a pilot is by his dropping to the floor / ground and keeping it low, working on that myself and working on my throttle control. Love you, Six Fox. Yeah, throttle control is the grand equalizer. And it's something that the Avata does digitally. Not digitally, but, you know, 100% electronic, dude. Yeah, pretty wild. Northern Tier says, we bleed 28.5 Gore motors shipped yesterday. Should have them soon. Not sure what board I want to try them on. Got a spare Mobula 6 ELRS. May try that. Thoughts? Got a Newbie Drone V1 board also. The Newbie Drone board, you'll have to change the connectors, so F that noise. Put them on the Mobula 6 board. It's looking like I probably need to get another Mobula 6 ELRS board, unfortunately, because I'm probably going to need to replace this one, and I need a spot to put those Gore motors on because I want to test them. Although I guess I'll just put the Gore motors on this and just see how they are. The video doesn't have to be good to see, you know, what kind of power they make versus the Tiny Whoop 30,000s. Tiny Whoop 30,000 kV 0702s are gone again, and they probably won't be back for another couple months. So if you want a high kV 0702, it's going to be the Weebleeds, which is great. You know, this is the first time I think that Weebleed has gotten motors. The more companies that we can get to get in on these high kV Tiny Whoop motors, the better. So support Weebleed and get yourself some 0702 28,000s and tell them that I sent you. They don't have an affiliate program yet, but they will. So yeah, snag you some stuff. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Fat Pastor says the small antenna works great on the Mobula 6 HD0 canopy. Love that. I'm going to be going down that trail pretty soon. Kevin Sumner says, another reason to get a Wi-Fi Whoop Store charger, you can charge the stick batteries at 2C. That's pretty cool. I have the little sandal board thing. The Wi-Fi's version of the little sandal board where I can charge them at a 2000C. But that's really cool that the Whoop Store does that on board. Usually those all-in-one chargers are like really, they won't push very hard. Michael D says, started to roll once you got to the top of the stairs. Thank you, dude. Bannister Post says, what are they making that no one else is in better quality? Do you like the Axis Thor? And hey, CiottiFPV. No, I mean, just the Mobula boards are just shitty quality. You know, they're great. They have everything built in. Like, from a feature standpoint, they're absolutely the best. And nobody else is doing it, which is just maddening. And yeah, the Happymodel stuff, it just fails. Like, it's just not super, it's pretty durable, but then it's just, there's other stuff that's better. So yeah, I would love the ability to pay more for better quality control stuff from Happymodel, because they're making some really good stuff. But, and I mean, you know, look what they charge. Look what they charge for stuff. Everything they make is cheaper than everyone else. Obviously, that money has to come from somewhere, right? Like, all these other companies don't have parking lots filled with Ferraris and Porsches. So yeah, it's and they blow up a lot. Happymodel stuff blows up a lot. It's shocking how durable it is, but it does eventually always let go. But it's the best that we've got right now. So Isaac Mitchell says, talking 40 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter shaft props. Gotcha. Not the T-mount, but the ones for the Firefly. Worth looking at if you haven't already tried them. I don't know what the ones for the Firefly are, Isaac. I don't know what that we're talking props, I guess. What props are on the Firefly, I guess, is my question. Michael D says, just took V to the park before 3 days of rain. Yeah. The East Coast is going to get some rain. I can't believe we're not going to get anything here. Eva FPV is in the chat. What's up? How are you? This says, hi, y'all. What's up, collective? Kevin Sumner says, yet DJI can't figure out how to yaw hard without death rolling. So that issue, I can pretty much guarantee you, is a 1507 problem. The Avata is absurdly heavy, and for some reason, I guess to try to squeeze out the extra runtime, they put 1507 motors on it. So what I can all but guarantee you is happening there is that the motors, the right or left rear motor that's doing the hard work on the hard yaw, is just getting too hot, and then it's saturating and it's losing power. And then there's a point where the software is just like, what the hell? I'm not getting any power from that rear motor. And then it gets to a point where it just can't handle it anymore. Really bad motor choice by DJI on that rig. 1507 is absolutely not the right motor choice for that heavy of a rig. If you keep a Cinewhoop really lightweight, yeah, maybe a 1507 will work. It doesn't really make much sense to have something that makes that much power only up at the top of the throttle for a Cinewhoop. So, for any Cinewhoop, 1507 is not a great choice in motor. But I don't know. My guess is that with how big of a company they are, they started developing that product 3 or 4 years ago when everybody was running 1507s, and then either they ordered 10,000 or 100,000 of them, or they developed everything else around that motor, and once we realized that that's not a great motor for Cinewhoops, it was too late to change, or they're just not paying attention. But yeah, 1507 is a bad motor choice for that rig, especially with the weight. Axis is making replacement motors for it. Maybe they'll be better. They're still 1507s though, so they still won't be great. But yeah, luckily the Avata recovers pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean that rig in the hands of dummies is really gonna, like, it's people are gonna get hit. It's not gonna be great for those of us that are in the cinematic flying world. Like it's gonna, I guarantee that it's gonna leave a bad taste in producers and directors of photography's mouths when they hire someone cheap with an Avata to come and get FPV footage, and they smash somebody in the face, or it falls out of the air and hits a vehicle, or it's going to be bad news. Luckily, the camera on there is not very good. It's really decent, but it's not near as good as a GoPro. Although you can just get a little mount and put a GoPro on top, and then you've got the better quality camera, and it still has like 10 minutes runtime. But yeah, the Avata is super impressive in so many ways. But it has the potential to be a little bit of a nightmare. So we'll see. I don't know. It's out. Can't go back. We can't go back in time. So Momo Slappy says, any tips for an 0702 motor post out of spec? Launches bi-blades not snug enough to hold on at 30,000 FPV, or KV rather. I do, Momo Slappy. So you need to find like a safety pin. You need to find something small enough to put inside of the 1mm hole, insert dick joke here, and then you're just going to take a little bit of super glue. So I do this with a little safety pin, just a little, fuck it, if you don't know what a safety pin is, Google it. So you take the little safety pin, the tiny little pin, you take your thing of super glue, and you take just a little tip of the safety pin, and you just scoop the tiniest little bit, literally the smallest bit that you can get onto the tip of the damn thing. And then you take that in the 1mm hole of the propeller, and you just smear it around in there. You want to get that super glue inside the propeller, and then you let it dry. You do not then put it on the motor, because you'll never get it off the motor. You let it dry. And when that super glue dries, it's going to get like all fucking crusty and like, in there. And then when you put the propeller on, it's going to have a little bit of bite because it's got that like roughness from the super glue in there. You'll notice that like it'll push some of the super glue out, but yeah, it'll give the inside of the hole on the propeller enough bite to hang on to that motor shaft and stop flying off. So yeah, line all your little bi-blades up and just boop, 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 just each one, just tiny little bit, and just let them dry for an hour, and then they'll never slide off again. Be careful if when you're putting it on, you can put too much in there, and then if when you're putting it on, it's really hard to put on there, don't just gorilla dick it on. Like, relax. You want to spin it on. You're gonna with one hand, you're gonna hold the motor, with the propeller, you can kind of rotate it as you put it on there. Don't just keep hammering on it though, because you'll push the shaft right out of the bell. If you're putting it on and it gets too tight, take it back off, put it back on, take it back off, put it back on. Every time you'll be able to get it a little bit farther in. And yeah, you'll push some of the extra super glue out of there. Once you've done this a bunch of times, you'll learn exactly how much is too much super glue and how much is just right. You got it, brother. Stevie says, damn Diamond F4, to replace it, I just ordered the Neutron RC AIO, so few ELRS options, beta test FPV, and unhappy model. So love the new HD0 Whoop Light, all for a Cockroach 65 frame. The Neutron RC AIO looks awesome. I really wish I had a VTX on board. I really do. But other than that, it's probably the best option. Metadartskin says, doesn't matter what goggle faceplate I get, I'm going to cover it with stickers anyway. Yeah, it's true. That is true. That is true. YouTube just did the thing, scrolling back up. Juju says, yo, I know it's not Whoop Wednesday. However, I was wondering what would be the best tiny whoop for freestyle that are bind and fly. There's no like perfect one that's bind and fly, but if you go to Joshua Bardwell's website, fpvknowitall.com, I spent a ton of time last month developing a tiny whoop page for him and this site, and so there is this premium build towards the bottom, not 75. Yeah, so there's this high quality build here. I actually don't recommend this if you're looking for something for like hardcore freestyle. My personal favorite at the moment is the cheap and easy build. So you get the Mobula 6 ELRS, you get the Meteor 65 frame. This, I mean, if you want better video, get this. If you don't care, you can skip it. And then this is like next level. If you want even better performance, you get some BT 2.0 connectors, you solder those up, and then you get some 300 mAh folded cell BT 2.0 batteries from Weebleed FPV. And then if you really want to go hard, you can get an so it's going to come with 0702 26,000s, which are great. If you stick with those motors, I do like these Gemfan tri-blades. If you really want to jump it up a notch, you can get the Weebleed FPV 0702 28,500 kV motors, and you can run the Gemfan bi-blades. But that's really it. I mean, that is like the best freestyle tiny whoop that I've been able to build in 6+ years of doing this, and the performance is absolutely wild. So that's what I'd recommend. But you know, not quite bind and fly. That Happymodel, so that Mobula 6 ELRS is pretty damn good as a bind and fly. The frame is going to break pretty quickly. It's just a piece of shit. Switching it over into the Meteor 65 frame is about as easy as it's going to get. Like, all you need is a tiny little screwdriver and about 10 minutes of your life. So yeah, and if you're not willing to do a tiny whoop frame swap, man, this hobby is going to be rough for you. So if you want to stay into FPV, you got to be willing to do a little bit of DIY stuff. And so, yeah, even so that rig with that frame swap is like, you're like 85% there. You can gain a little bit more performance by doing the other things that I just went over. But yeah, that is a hell of a bind and fly right there. Zoe Tech is in the house. He said, gore. Juju also says, what do you think about the Brother Hobby Deadpool Hobby Motors 10-pack from Cyclone FPV? what the hell? Have I not been to Cyclone FPV on this computer yet? It's probably on their homepage. That sounds like a super ultra deal. Where are we at here? Let me just search for what the hell is that about? Deadpool. There we go. $80. Jesus. 10 motors for $80. That's a hell of a deal. So that's it. So Brother Hobby was pretty shitty towards FPV Cycle and kind of ripped them off pretty hard. So like I don't buy anything currently made by Brother Hobby. This is a motor that's been discontinued. So if you buy this, you're supporting Cyclone FPV, right? You're not really supporting Brother Hobby. So I'm not going to shame you for that. It's a 2306. It's 4S KV, which you can motor scale down to run on 6S, so that's good. I would definitely get the 2450s and not the 2650s. I mean, $80 for 10 motors is one hell of a deal. And it's a titanium shaft. So this is like a $25, $26 motor. So yeah, that is an unbelievable deal, to be totally honest, to the point where like I'm about to snag a set of these for giveaways because I can give like 5 of these away at a time. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this tab open. So if you want them, hurry up and get them because I'm almost certainly gonna get a 10-pack of these. That's yeah, that is way too good of a deal to pass up. What do they weigh? Oh, without wire. Okay, 28.3 grams without wire. The wire is going to weigh a couple grams. I mean, they're not heavy motors. They are a 2-piece bell, which is not going to be quite as durable as a single-piece bell, but these are like less than 50% of the price of a current generation titanium shaft motor. So, I mean, like, yeah, if you need 5-inch rig motors, this is absolutely the thing to get right now. 10 of them is also good, too, because this is a discontinued motor, so you're not going to find replacements. So I would not build 2 rigs with this. I would build 1 rig with these 10 motors, and then you've got 6 replacements. So you can fly that rig for a while. So yeah, hell of a deal. Good find. Really good find. Good looking motor too, red and black. That's happening. I'm leaving that tab opened. What else is going on in chat? Zoe Tech says, thank you, sir. Due time. In the meantime, I'll support those funds you post. Cheers. Much appreciated, brother. Zoe Tech did a $200 super chat the other day. If you needed any other reason to support, Zoe Tech is We Bleed FPV for anybody that doesn't know. If you needed any other reason to support We Bleed FPV, you know, they're supporting the creators that create the free content that, you know, we all get to watch. So that means a lot. Go get yourself something nice. Treat yourself. It's payday. Buy yourself something nice. Hey, their gates are awesome too. If you need tiny whoop gates, they've got like the biggest gates, which is great because I find the smaller gates just impossible to get through. But their gates are also like bomb proof. They're made of this like cloth material. They've been like smacking 5-inch rigs into them and they survive. They're really nice. Timbo Slice says, I joined your Patreon because I like what you do. I like what you have to say and want you to keep it up. Thanks. Thank you, Timbo Slice. I'm able to do this because awesome people like you are here to support me, and that's like a really big deal. So, yeah, man, I will continue to do this for as long as you guys continue to enjoy it and support me. And it's I love that about Patreon. Like, I love that Patreon allows us to have a home where we can put the best content out that we're able to do, and like it makes it easy for people to be like, oh, I dig that, let me support this person because I want them to keep doing it. Like, that's pretty rad. That's a huge shift, right? Like it's a big shift from like, oh, I gotta get a job and my life has to suck for 8 hours a day, but then I'll come home and do really fun things, right? It's a huge shift that kind of COVID brought, which allowed a whole ton of us to just be like, well, let me try to do this thing on my own and just do something cool that I don't necessarily hate all day. And yeah, like from a mental health standpoint too, it's been kind of a miracle for me. Things are getting really, really dark towards the end of my time of working for other people. And I literally almost didn't make it out. So yeah, it means a lot. And you guys are fucking rock stars for supporting me and allowing me to keep doing this. Cause it's, yeah, it's super cool. You know, it's funny, like for whatever reason, I have this weird memory, like when the internet was like first a really solid thing and people would do, there was a little time period where people would like just set up a camera in like their office and they would just like dump it on the internet. I don't even know if the words live streaming had started yet. Like we hadn't even thought of live streaming. It was called something else. And I remember thinking like, that'd be kind of cool if people could like check out what I'm up to. Like, you know, like I don't care. I'm not doing anything bad. Like I don't have anything to hide, right? Most people are like, fuck no, keep all the cameras out of my house. I don't want anybody looking at me. I was always like the opposite of like, yeah, it'd be neat. Like if somebody could just like hop in and be like, yo, what's up, man? What are you working on photo editing again? So yeah, live streaming was a godsend for me or whatever. Not that I believe in God, but Isaac Mitchell says Gemfan made lightweight quad blades for the Firefly series. They're probably the best 1.5 millimeter shaft, 40 millimeter props. No shit. How did I miss that? Firefly FPV. Let me take a look here. Let's have a look. So what you're saying, Isaac, is that Gemfan has two different quad blades. One of them is extra lightweight that they made for the Firefly. I'll be damned. What? I did not know about this. How did I not know about this? This is bullshit. Where do you get those, dude? I have never seen those before. So I can tell they're different because they don't have... they just have the single center hole. They don't have the two additional holes. Here's what their normal quad blades look like. And they're heavy. This is a heavy propeller. It's really nice, but it's heavy. Where the hell do you get these from? Christ, I'm a Gemfan sponsored pilot, and I don't know where to get them from. Maybe I can just, probably just message Mike. I'm just going to do that. Unless you've got a spot where you can order them from easily. I haven't talked to Mike in a minute, though. Check in with him. Yo, bro! Where can I get 1.6-inch quad blades from? All right, cool. Hey, all hell's breaking loose over on my Instagram. Lots of cool stories. If you're not following me over there, you should be. I'm posting more flight edits up on I'm making flight edits over on Instagram. Oh, wait a second. Those are HQ props. Those are HQs. Those are... Well, one picture they look like Gemfans. This looks like Gemfan's blade profile here. But then in this picture, these are HQ propellers. See how these are more rounded off on the corner? This is an HQ prop. Is this a 1. This is a 1.6. Yeah, these are HQs. But these are Gemfans. This is a single center hole Gemfan, 1636. Is that a different pitch? 1636. Nope, same pitch. Same pitch as the 3-hole version. I'll be damned. Good spot, man. Very cool. Yeah, if you have somewhere, I should have gotten caught up on chat before just messaging Mike, bothering him, but very cool, man. Very, very cool. YouTube just did the thing, trying to find my spot. But Erickson says the 1S Flywoo Firefly uses Gemfan 40mm biblade. Looks like the 2S version runs various other 1.5-inch Gemfan props. They make them all in 1.5mm shaft versions. Michael D says, during Whoop Wednesday stream, you were talking about the Happymodel Super B F4 Lite used in the Mobula 6 HD0. Wasn't sure if you were. It does not have a VTX. Of course. That's the problem with that. That AIO. Good call, Michael D. Bannister Post says, I love when the DP calls an Inspire the cute little one. I offered to do some establishes with a Maverick and ended up on an Inspire 2. Can't see the Avata living much on set. Yeah, I hope not. I really hope not. It also doesn't have a very good way of disarming. It's a toy. The Avata is a toy. And toys do not belong on film or music or movie sets. But unfortunately, low budget productions will not realize that. And yeah, some of us will probably have to pay for that. But whatever. Quadblade says, what do you think about 1507s on a 270 gram 3-inch freestyle quad? If not, what should I use them on? 3800 kV. To me, the only realistic use for 1507s is a racing rig, where you're always high in the throttle, up where those motors are going to make just a huge amount of power. The problem is they're going to overheat. So yeah, I don't know. 1507 is a motor size that's, so if you scale, to give you some idea, right? 1507. 7 is, if you double 7, you get 15. All right. The reason why it's important is the ratio of height to width on a motor. The height of the motor produces more. The more height, if you add a millimeter of height, you get a lot more power. If you add a millimeter of width, you only get a tiny little bit more power. But that millimeter of width gets you better cooling. The millimeter of height does not get you any extra cooling. So 1507, 7, if you double that, is almost 15, all right? Blow that up into a 5-inch motor, okay? So let's talk about like if you wanted to do a 23, right, like 2306. So the equivalent 5-inch motor of a 1507 would be a 23, basically a 2311 rather than a 2306. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 extra millimeters of height. That motor would send you into the goddamn orbit, and it would overheat, right? So like when one of the easiest things to do is look at 5-inch development. Like 5-inch rigs have had the deepest development cycle over the longest period of time. They have spent the most effort and time to figure out the right everything, the right propeller, the right pitch, the right frame design, the right motor size for sure. So if you look at the ratio of height to width on 5-inch motors, that kind of tells you everything you need to know if you want to build a freestyle rig, or just if you want to build a really versatile rig that'll do everything. So you look at like 2306s, 2207s, those are the two sizes that we've kind of decided are the right size for 5-inch freestyle, right? So you look at that ratio of width to height on those 5-inch motors, that's, and then you want to scale that down. 1507 is not that. 1507 is completely off the edge of the scale when it comes. So, you know, the performance characteristics are just going to be like kind of wrong, unfortunately. All that being said, if you make a really tall motor, if you keep off the throttle, it can actually be really efficient because the height of the motor produces lots of power. The width of the motor does not. It just basically keeps it cool. So as the motor gets wider, it gets heavier, and that affects efficiency. But the problem with those tall motors, if you want to use them in an efficiency kind of scenario, is that they get too hot. So and when a motor gets hot, it actually becomes less efficient. So these really tall motors have a very narrow performance window, and it's rough. They're also hard to fly because they just don't, the power curve is kind of weird. The power curve is like a big single turbo Supra where like you don't have a lot of power down low in the throttle, but then when you get towards the end of the throttle, it just spikes and the fucking thing just goes. And unfortunately, when you get up that high in the throttle, then they overheat. So you get a ton of power for a split second, and then they get way too hot, and then you lose power. So much like turbo cars, the amount of power that you have at any given time changes. Like, this is one of the reasons I never liked to run turbo cars on the racetrack or in the mountains, is that, like, if I push the gas pedal down to 82%, I want the same amount of power there every time I do that. And with a turbocharger in the system, that's never going to happen. When you put it there at first, there's going to be a little power, the boost threshold is going to build up, and then you're going to have more power, and then you jump off the throttle, the blow-off valve is going to open up, you're going to lose all that boost, but then the turbo is still going to be spinning really fast, so if you get back into the throttle and close the wastegate, it's going to build boost quicker this time. It's just not consistent, and when you're trying to balance a car in a corner, consistency is everything. That like plays into us pretty 1-to-1, where like with these motors that overheat, you know, you hammer the throttle, the motor overheats, now it makes a bunch of less power for a little bit, but then it cools itself down if you're not digging into the throttle again. So and you just lose consistency and blah 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 blah. So yeah, I don't know. 1507s I would use them on like a freestyle rig that like I just sort of wanted to hurtle into the clouds. Because if you stab the throttle with a 1507, you get a horrendous amount of power, which is fun, and then it overheats. So you don't want to like be standing on the throttle. You want to just be blipping the throttle, and then you want to give it time to cool back down. So that could be like a fun rig where you take it out and just, you know, which is fun. Every time we go full throttle, it's immediately fun. And then you just hammer it up really high, and then you give it time to float back down, and then you hammer it back up into the sky again. This is how some people fly, right? I mean, I think this is how we all flew for a while, because it's just too fucking fun. So that's what I would do with 1507s. I'd put them on a rig that you're not going to fly technically. You're not going to, like, hammer on it. But you're just going to use it to, like an old frame maybe that you've got. It's just like every once in a while, like to impress your, that's what it is. It's an impress your friends rig. That's exactly what it is, actually. It's an impress your friends rig. Maybe even like a line of sight rig. Maybe even learn line of sight or practice line of sight with a rig like that, where you can just do a big throttle blip and just, ooh, whoa, look how fast. Ooh, it's so fast. And then you limp it around for a little bit, let it cool down. Ooh, woo, it's cool. And limp it around for... Somebody's going to clip that and make an ass out of me, and I can't wait. FPV says, some props just need a little extra foreplay. Oh, man, am I that... I'm very far behind on chat. Let me get caught up. Hold on. Michael D says, speaking of Deadpool, did you see that Hugh Jackman is going to play Wolverine one more time for Deadpool 3? Ryan Reynolds finally talked him into it. That's funny. I haven't even seen Deadpool 2. I'm not big on the comic book movies for whatever reason. FPV rightly saying $8 a motor is such a good deal, goddamn, especially for a titanium motor shaft motor. 413 FPV says, do you own or have you taken apart a Nanohawk X? I used to own one. I did a giveaway for it, and I did take it apart. I disassembled mine a month ago and finally replaced the camera the other day, but there are 4 small black plastic rings / washers. Where do they go? I forget where they go, 413, but it's either above or below the AIO. There's only... I forget if it's above or below, but put it together one way, and it'll be either right or wrong, and then put it together the other way. But yeah, they go either above or below the AIO. I want to say if they go below it, they're there to keep the AIO from hitting the carbon fiber frame. If they go above it, they're there to keep the plastic canopy from hitting the AIO. So there you go. So you can just kind of sit there and like put it below and see if the AIO hits the carbon, and if it does, then they go below. I think they go below. Pretty sure they go below. Throat's starting to bother me. Michael D says you can get the Venom props on Newbie Drone. You can. I don't like the Venom props though. They're really noisy and they don't really make very good thrust. Have you had good luck with the Venom props, Michael? I have not, and I've heard a couple people say that the Venom props are really noisy and they don't make much thrust. Isaac, they're the old school tiny wop. That's me. I'm the tiny wop. I'm Italian. Oh, that's a fucking shirt right there. Tiny wop. I don't even remember what I was saying because tiny wop is just so effing hysterical. Isaac Mitchell says order from Flywoo only so far that I've seen. Oh, of course Flywoo would sell those. Flywoo. Let's go to Flywoo. Flywoo drone parts. What? Where are your props, yo? Let's find them. Because I'm gonna get some. Hey, is anybody doing a so Flywoo's website is great because they have the tiny little race wires. Is anybody buying race wires from Flywoo anytime soon? I would love to sneak a couple of these propellers in with your order. Hey, there they are. Look at that. Gemfan 1636 40mm V2. Look at that. Very cool. I'm going to look on the rest of the internet for them. So there you go. If anybody's doing a Flywoo order, let me know. I would love to hop in on there with you. Because they do ship from Bangalore or some shit. They ship from forever away. Maybe not. I don't know. Michael D says, my apologies, I was thinking of the Newbie Drone Venom bi-blades. And Isaac Mitchell, no worries, brother. Bannister Post says, sounds about right. I have some 1507 2700s on a 4-inch Apex. Insanely fun and quiet. Fun to hover and punch it, yeah. Michael D says, did you guys check out New Zealand decking advertisement after Wednesday? You know, I think I still have that tab opened. I did see the thumbnails, though. And I was like, oh, God. Here we go. I have a tab open with it somewhere. I just don't know where. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty. We know what's coming next. Did he really just say that? Michael D says, you're no longer the Micro King, you're now the Tiny Wop. Francis Bean says, those 4mm race LEDs are so hard to solder. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are, Brandon. But you can do it. If you want a little bit more real estate, there is a slightly bigger, tiny race wire. So this is the Flywoo. I'm sorry. This is the HGLRC tiny little race wire, and it is significantly bigger than the Flywoo ones. So yeah. And this also will take up to 4S. I think the Flywoo little tiny race wires like this will only take up to 3S. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, these HGLRC itty-bitty little race wires are significantly, but slightly bigger than the Flywoo little tiny ones. What Flywoo has that I really dig is a 9mm wide by 15. Most of the other race wires are 20 or 25 millimeters long. Flywoo has a 15mm long race wire that is not a hot mess to solder to. They've got normal sized pads. It's the length, that 15mm length. Those work on most micros like this one. Here is that that race wire. Come on, you jerk. Focus. There it is. Yeah. So these are the Flywoo 9x15mm race wires. And they're really the only ones that you can get onto most of these 3-inch micros. The 20mm long ones are too big. All right, I think we're almost caught up on chat. I can do a little bit of work on this toothpick. My name is the Tiny Wop. Keep in mind, this is my full-time job. I rely on support from beautiful people like you to keep this thing going. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com for a million ways you can help me out. Patreon helps me the most, and for whatever reason, maybe FPV is dying. My Patreon is also dying too. So if you have a couple extra bucks a month, I would love to see you on my Patreon. Lots of perks. I swear to God, it's worth $3 or $5 or $10 a month. Whatever you can afford. There's also affiliate links when you're doing an Amazon order. Think about your gangly buddy. FPV Cycle, Getfpv, Oh My God's website, bunch of different spots that I have affiliate links to. Meadowton says, am I the only lunatic that puts that race wire on toothpicks? I'm about to be the other idiot doing it. So yeah, not just you, but it is pretty stupid to do that. Brains Big Bean says, I feed 4S to the Flywoo. It's probably fine. The little resistors on there. I mean, the worst that'll happen is the LEDs will shut off eventually. And then Isaac Mitchell says, I'll send you some when my order from Flywoo gets in. I just ordered 24 sets. Nice, Isaac. Thank you, dude. Very cool. Very cool. I will only need 2 sets because I'll only be putting them on one of the tiny lifters. So yeah, that's rad. Thank you, dude. Michael D says, New Zealand decking advertised safe for the stream, no cursing, and it's hilarious. I can't do it on the stream because I'll get hit on copyright. So yeah, gotta watch it afterwards. Quadbot says, thanks very much for the rundown in 1507. It's going to try line of sight. Very cool. I'd never really thought all the way through that. That was fun to kind of think through. Why is my throat so itchy? I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start manually moving this over so that you guys. Oh man, I'm low in that frame. I mean, that's kind of a worthless camera angle, but whatever. Dingles is in the house. He says, can I get your thoughts on Tiny Whoop motor oil? Also, do you use lube for 5-inch motors? I feel like I'm being trolled, but I'm going to answer anyway. With the little Tiny Whoop motors, they don't have bearings in them. They have bushings. So they do seem to benefit from oil. The problem is the oil then flings all over the place, and it's just kind of a hot mess. Yeah, it's definitely going to help. On 5-inch rigs with the bearings, it's a lot less important because those bearings have like a thicker grease pressed into them at the factory. So the really thin oil is not really going to do much. It's certainly not going to hurt anything, but just understand that oil is going to go absolutely everywhere because they spin at 11 billion RPMs. But I mean, who cares? Like, whatever. You'll get a little bit of greasies on your fingies, and that's not the end of the world. So yeah, it's a thing that helps. I always forget about it. That every once in a while I'll remember, and I'll do it. I use skateboard. I use a longboard, so I have a bunch of longboard grease, and that's what I use. But yeah, so this is the TP3 Vistapick. I love this frame because you can sit here and do this with it. It's bad for all the wires, but it's fun to do. I have Ghost on it right now. It's all wired up for Ghost. Thinking about pulling it off though. It just I don't want to have another. Yeah, I'm taking it off. I just don't. I don't want to have to drag around another module. Like I love Ghost from like a clickbait standpoint. Not really clickbait, but it just doesn't really do it for me. I don't know. And I have a bunch of Crossfire Nanos. So let's just get this onto Crossfire where it belongs. I guess I could put ELRS on it. That's the other option. Express LRS on a toothpick. Now, let's do... Well... The ceramic antenna would be, like, outside. No, Express LRS is for in the house. That's what I use when I'm flying around the house. I'm not gonna... Oh, man, I put fucking plug headers on this. Ugh, what an idiot. Why did I do that? Oh, man. I don't feel like... I really don't want to work on this right now. I can't believe I put plug headers on this. I mean, I could just solder to the bottom of this and bypass the plug headers. I think I'm actually going to do that. I think I'm going to solder to the bottom pads here. And that way I can just bypass the plug headers. Let me... So when I go out, I never bring the Express LRS module with me. I only bring my Crossfire module. Express LRS literally does not leave the house. So I'm going to put Crossfire on this because I won't be flying this inside the house. I'll be flying this outside. And I do want to like bring this to cool spots and fly it around. So yeah, this is gonna get Crossfire. Is that? Yeah, we'll use that little wire bundle. There's also going to be a point where I finally get the QX7S up, and that's going to be the radio that that the Crossfire module lives in, and then this old white QX7 non-S is going to be the radio where Express LRS lives. And I'm just never going to bring the white transmitter out with me. It's just going to be the flying around the house transmitter. So I'm trying to like kind of pre-plan or whatever that inevitability. So let me go into my little receiver box, and there should be one or two Crossfire Nanos floating around in here. Sure enough, there's one. And then I'm going to use this big dumb antenna here, which I can't get to work in any other antenna mount. But I will figure out a way to get this secured somewhere on here. Maybe I can like tuck it in there or something like that. No, that ain't going to work. But I'll figure out how to get this. I'll probably end up just putting it on an arm. Will that work on an arm? Yeah, that's probably where I'm going to do it. I'll just zap it down to an arm. I would love to put these race wires on, but my God, that's going to make an already annoying build even more annoying. Michael D says, I have to diagnose my Mobula 7 HD had a nasty wreck, and now it slightly drifts, changing the props, but it's still having issues. Thinking I shouldn't have attempted to turtle. Slightly drifts. That's weird. Make sure you didn't knock your trim out on the transmitter. Drifting is typically not a physical issue. EVA-FPV says it belongs on ELRS. Northern Tier with a $10 super chat. Thank you, homie. He says, thanks for what you do. Great content as always. GoPro fun. Thank you, brother. Very cool of you. Gear fun goes to 44. Just like that. Thank you, brother. Metterson says, all my micros have ELRS now. It is the way for everything, and it isn't huge or expensive. 413 FPV with a $5 super chat. Thank you, homie. It was the bottom under the board. I knew it! It touches the frame. Thank you for all your help. It is very much appreciated. You're certainly welcome, 413. Thank you for supporting me. Northern Tier, you as well, man. Thank you. Brandon's Big Bean says, Xenakis is still free exchanging Crossfire for ELRS hardware. No way. That's great. Eva says, think of how much better it'll fly without that heavy Crossfire antenna. I mean, it's gonna have a fucking Vista on it anyway, so it's whatever. It's a good thought though. What does this big dumb antenna weigh? 1.5 grams. Whatever. It's fine. The whole setup is 2.2. Yeah, it's fine. The cold hard fact is that if I put Express LRS on this, every single time I go out to fly it, I'm gonna forget to bring the ELRS module, so I'll never fly the damn thing. I will forget 100% of the time. So that's just what it's like to be me. All right, so I'm gonna handle the. I'm gonna get the motors going on this thing first. I need to. With a toothpick, I find it really helps to build it bottom up. I build other rigs a little bit differently than that. I kind of do motors last, but on this thing, because of the fact that I'm going to be soldering these motors to the underside of this board so that I don't have to remove these plug headers, yeah, I'm going to kick this board up and off of here. I don't even know if this board's going to work. This is an old ass JHE MCU board that might be one of the boards that has the terrible electrical noise problems. So yeah, I don't have high hopes that this thing is going to even work, but yeah. AIOs are really expensive, and I'll give this one a shot. It does have the capacitor on it. If it refuses to fly, I actually have another JHE MCU old AIO. I'll try that one. If that also doesn't fly, I'm just never going to build a toothpick again. Because, I don't know, having the Vista on board with this is really interesting. I love the idea of being able to get fly DJI silently, but also get DJI footage. This is one of the rigs that I'm going to try to make edits with the DJI footage. And so yeah, I'm intrigued by this. Let's get it going. Let's see what's happening here. So this guy was spinning on the screw, so let's just get it double jib-jabbed. Eva says go over to the dark side and fly ELRS in the real world for once. Yeah, I don't. If I had an extra EP2, I would be more willing to explore that. Technically, I do. I have that newbie drone Tiny Whoop that I could technically rob the EP2 off of. But yeah, realistically, like if I did that, I would not remember to bring that module with me when I went out to fly this. It's called knowing yourself. Gots to know yourself. Hopefully you'll know yourself better than other people do, but sometimes other people will know you better than you know yourself. Man, my fucking throat hurts. What the hell's happening? I better not be getting sick. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. See if I can get this screw to crank itself down. There we go. There we go. All right. The nuts are off. And let's get these motors measured up. All right. So we're going to run them down the arm. Man, if it wasn't such torture to build small things, I would do those little mini race wires. But man, the other toothpick that I built that I sold, I did the little tiny race wires, and man, it sucked. Like it was so hard to get those, to deal with those and put those on these wee little arms. But it really does. I love having them. I love the way they look, and I love how much easier it makes replacing motors. And this rig, if I do end up flying this rig any amount, I will be replacing motors pretty frequently because bi-blade life. So yeah, what I will probably do on this rig is when I have to replace a motor, I'll put a race wire on, and then eventually I'll have a couple of race wires on here. So I'm just trying to sort of figure out what length the motor wires need to be. So I'm going to cut it there, and that should be just about right. And then I can use this one to cut the rest of them. All right, so that's perfectly even. Let's get the rest of these guys cut. Okay. Guys getting ready for bot grinder? Oh God, 12 minutes. 12 minutes till bot grinder mayhem. Get your drugs ready because he's going to challenge you to do all of them. He's going to lay down the gauntlet for you. All right. And here we go. Man, I didn't realize there was so much work that needed to be done. I thought this was like more done than this. I thought there was a chance of finishing this tonight. I was pretty sure it was not a very good chance, but if I'd known that motors had to be soldered on, I would not have named this Finish Shit Friday. It would have been Start Shit Friday. Riot9 says 12 minutes, get your drugs on. EveFPV says, see, everyone thinks it should be on the best RC link. Yeah, you guys are all about Express LRS. I mean, it's great and all, but I don't know. I don't celebrate it like as my savior. Mainly because Crossfire just sort of works and it works fine, and I can't tell the difference in latency. Nor do I really fly in a way that benefits from having absolutely no latency. I'm gonna keep these little guys. Nah, I'm not. I'm gonna throw them away. Well, what gauge are they? Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to them. They're an interesting gauge. I think that said 26. I don't think I have any spare 26 gauge wire. They're pretty short though. Probably never use them. Okay. Let's just focus on the motors. So I'm going to solder the motors up with this thing outside of the frame, just because I got to do it upside down. I typically like to do it when it's in the frame, but yeah, this whole upside down situation is going to suck. This is the end, and I should really be using these race wires because I'm about to solder these motors on the bottom of this AIO. So when I need to replace one of these motors, it's going to be a fucking nightmare. With how slimmed down this frame is, it actually probably won't be that much of a nightmare, but it'll definitely be a little bit of a nightmare to swap a motor. But maybe what I'll do is the first time I break a motor, I'll pull it apart. And I really don't want to have to pull it apart though. The other option being remove these plug headers and solder to the top of the AIO. But man, there are motors there's like the Talon 1204 motors that use these plug headers, which I think is why I put these plug headers on. Yeah, see, I can get at this pad. I can get at that pad. I can get at that pad. That one's gonna suck. This isn't too bad. I can't justify the time it's gonna take to put those on. It just takes too long. I had a hard time. What is my throat doing? It was itchy as shit. You know what I'll do? I know what I'll do. Look, these are too big. These are too big for these tiny little TP3 arms anyway. At some point, this frame is going to get swapped out for the AOS T3 frame, Rosser's toothpick frame, and that's when I'll do these because that frame has thicker arms, so that's when I'll put the race wire LEDs on. What do you think of that? How about that for laziness? No, but seriously, like putting those race wires on this would add at least an hour or two to the build time, and I've just it's already a rig that I'm barely gonna fly if ever. I can't add that much time to a toothpick build. That's just ridiculous. This build's probably gonna take me 3 or 4 hours as it is, just because of how small everything is. Maybe not that long. All right, here we go. Let's solder up some of these motors, and Get this the hell out of here. Yeah, I mean, good lord. All right, so I guess I'm going to use these front pads. Man, there is not... These pads are just really small. Good lord. Are the pads on top bigger? It looks like they are a little bit bigger. Man! What the hell? What the hell? I should really remove these plug headers. Oh boy, this is gonna be a nightmare to solder. Oh god. These pads on the bottom are so small. Why are they so wee? We'll be alright. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Alright, so I need to flux the shit out of this. This is gonna be a I'm gonna have to really like pay attention basically and do this properly, which is always hard to do while I'm streaming, but we're gonna give it a shot. So let's put some paste flux on here. I'll tin these pads and we shall go. I'm gonna strip these wires down with my fingernails because they're so incredibly skinny. Looks like you guys are having a blast in chat. I love that. I love it when I see the chat like absolutely blow up and I'm not tagged at all. Like, that's so cool that you guys all talk to each other and know each other and hang out. Like, that's just the coolest thing ever. It's not that I don't want you guys to talk to me, but it's just, it's cool that that you have your own discussions going on. I've always dug that. A lot of other, you know, it's cool that like that we have our little community. It's you know, when there's hundreds of people in the chat, like you can kind of get lost, and it's like, hey, over here. We got a cool thing going with the size of the following here. It's neat. Like, everybody kind of gets to know everybody else. So if you've been just lurking, lurk less. Talk to people more. Oh, farts! I turned the soldering iron off. What the hell? 4 minutes! Jesus! Metal Nerdskin says, I checked my AOS T3 and the arms aren't any wider. God damn it. They just have extra braces. Izzy Boop says, hello! What's up, Izzy? Fat Pastor says, don't forget to clean your deck with soap and water first. What? What deck? Kizbar, it says, it's cool you're talking with each other. Chat. Who can find the most weed? Oh, God. Easy, Kiz. That took a turn. I can't say any of those things without getting attacked by YouTube. Here we go. So I guess I'll show you how to do one motor, and then I'll do the rest of the motors myself, because, you know, once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. Come on. There we go. What is this, a quad for ants? Sort of. Sort of is. All right. Let me breathe that solder juice in deep. Solder juice. Oh my God. I need to tin this one pad over here. This is outrageous. This is real small. This is just a silly sized little pad that I need to get this big ass motor wire connected to. All right, might as well tin these other three while I'm at it here. I got to be a little bit lighter on this solder paste. It like builds up. It's really nice. I really dig it. But it like, yeah, it like melts and kind of flows all over the place. Okay, those pads are good to go. 2 of the 3 kind of connected to the other little fella right next door, and I kind of like that. I'll see if I can get the 3rd one to do the same here. All right, here we go. Soldering the smallest thing in the world. Soldiering the smallest thing in the world. Jesus. All right. A little bit of flux on the wire itself. Jesus. All right, now I gotta get this with little skinny tweezer buddies. There's just no way I'll get this otherwise. All right. Well, yeah, much better. Come on. Come on, little buddy. What is this? Is this all over the wire? Burn off, flux. Well, that's weird. There was like so much flux on there that it was actually like not cooperating. Can't say I've ever had that happen before. What is happening here? Hold on. Let me clean the iron. Yeah, what the hell? Oh, there it goes. What is it? What's going on here? The wire is there we go. There was like a weird little coating on the wire. Now we're good. Yeah, it's still giving me trouble. What the fuck is on this wire that's causing this to happen? There's like a little plastic coat. Oh, fuck. It's like a weird little plastic coating on just this one wire. What happened here? Oh god, it's like a hard... What the fuck? What is this? Yeah, I just peeled it off. It was like a little... God, that was odd. I do not know what that was. But it's gone now, so we're going to be just fine. Grab our little tweezers. And let's get it on there. I can barely see these pads. This is one of the problems with these old school AIOs. They just like, it's like they didn't realize that people were going to solder motors up to them. They're like, no, we put pads. Well, yeah, but your pads are the size of a goddamn eighth of a grain of rice. Well, but we put pads. You know, you're asking us to put all these things on the board. The hell do you expect? Good God, this is small. This is small to the point where like I almost need to use the 5X loop just to do this. If my vision was any worse, I actually would. The newer AIOs have much bigger pads than these. Hey, that's looking pretty good. The middle one needs to be reworked though. The middle one is just sitting up on the pad a little bit more than I want it to. Now's when I bridge all these together. Ready? We're good. Let me take a quick look, and then I'm going to wrap this up. We're 3 minutes over. Go watch some Bot Grinder, friends. Let me make sure these aren't bridged. Oh, man, they might be bridged. Nah, I don't think they are. Man, is it hard to see? I think I'm okay. There you go, friends. That's how you do it. Tiny little solder pads. Tiny little jib jabs. Tiny little flip flops. Whoo, boy. Oh my God. That just snuck out. Love you guys. It smells like burp now. What's happening here? There we go. All right, friends. I'll see you guys on Sunday at 3 o'clock for something. Maybe we'll do another Sim Sunday. I'm gonna go get a cough drop. Hit my Patreon, CiottiFPV.com. Join it. You're going to love it. Go do the things. Yeah, I'm going to watch these disgusting New Zealand decking adverts. Be good, guys. I love you. Here comes some flying. Hopefully I don't crash in the first 5 seconds. Although that's kind of what was happening at the beginning of the stream. Come on, computer. You can do it. Get it. Get it. Come on. That's not the right file. This is the one. Here comes some epidemic sounds for that ass. Be good. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, this song is called Leaving Gravity. Later.